if you've had pets for more than 5 seconds, you'd have talked to other pet parents, talked to people about your pets, and at least once or twice you would have heard the line or said the line, let's not do that. We can't go against their nature. This is something that I also hear often whenever I talk about any intervention for your pets. It's most commonly neutering, but nowadays it's coming up in things like vaccines or any sort of, early interventions that we want to do for our pets' health. So today, let's look a little closer at that sentence, and hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll realize it's a little more nuanced than you may think. Welcome to the Practical Pet Parenting Podcast, where science and research meets simplicity, practicality, and humor. Because we all know that pet parenting isn't just one thing. It's magical, beautiful, life-changing, frustrating, and overwhelming all at the same time. I'm Dr. Ashita Suresh, a vet, a mom, a dog mom, on the multiple species pet parenting journey just like so many of you. Join me as we cut through the noise, fear, and fluff and take pet parenting from overwhelming to, well, barely manageable. Like I said, whenever it's most commonly neutering, but whenever I suggest quite a few things or anything for our pets, we often have people saying, it's against nature. I don't want that. Now, keeping aside the fact that we all live in concrete houses with a lot of man made appliances and which run on definitely not found in the wild electricity, and not to mention Wi Fi, this way of thinking is so common across so many fields of biology that it even has a particular name. This is known as the appeal to nature fallacy. This is basically when you believe that just because something is natural, it is great, while anything unnatural or chemical is bad for you. So there are only two categories of things that you divide everything into. One is natural and one is not natural. And everything on one side, the natural side, is great for you, and everything on the other side is terrible, ruining our health, ruining our lives, etc., etc., etc. Now, while just like everything else, there are instances where this is true, it more often than not bites you very badly the more you subscribe to this theory, mainly for two reasons. First one is when you go for all natural, nature as an entity does not care about the individual. Look, with the advances of science, we have elongated lifespans, reduced mortality in very dangerous situations like pregnancy and childbirth. Whereas if you left it to nature, nature doesn't care about the individual. It doesn't care how many people die as long as there are more people alive than dead. Nature only cares about the continuity of the species. It doesn't care whether you are continuing the species. Going natural might not exactly be in favor of the individual. Favor the species, sure, not the individual. The second reason is if you subscribe to this fallacy, then any company which sells anything useless or maybe downright harmful can persuade you to buy their stuff if they say that it is herbal or natural. You will still believe that it is the better option just because they have labeled it as natural. Now, a very important question, because this is a pet care podcast, why do you as a pet parent have to care about this? This is because it shows up in our lives with every single decision we make for them. It's not just outright it's against nature or it's not natural. Every time, from the beginning, from the point from where we bring our pets, we are constantly walking that line between accepting their behaviors and also molding them, or what we say, training them to fit our lifestyle. We are contending with that every single day. But somehow, when the interventions are of a medical or from a health standpoint, or even of a surgical nature like neutering, suddenly we are very unwilling to walk that same line. And this is not to blame. Yes, things you don't understand or things, new things and surgeries can be scary, not saying no. But again, the point is not to choose always artificial, man made, whatever. The point is to be willing to walk that line again. And to put this in perspective, here are some of the most natural things in veterinary medicine. I'm going to list them out for you. The first very natural thing that we get in veterinary medicine are diseases: parvo, distemper, fungal infections, bacterial infections, autoimmune diseases. Nobody made these things. These are all 100% natural. And bonus, the most natural thing of all is rabies. So natural that we can't even find a cure. Second is parasites. All these parasites are 100% natural, 100% free ranging, like, whatever, grass fed, whatever you want to call them. Next is poisons. All sorts of poisonous plants, the ones that give your pets allergies, lilies for cats. Humans didn't make this, nature did. Another very important one is starvation. The fact that we give our pets nutritious food every single day is not something that happens in the wild. Starvation and malnutrition is far more the norm than proper balanced nutrition. And lastly, let us not forget the most natural thing of all, death. You can't get more natural than death. Death is the most natural thing among us. Now, if you are wondering what the hell you have tuned into, I have a point, I promise. Please bear with me. None of this is to scare you or to tell you that you are doing something wrong. The point I am trying to make is that domestication has already come with dozens, if not hundreds, of interventions. The smallest things are interventions. We brought them into our homes. They live indoors now. We give them a lot of artificial light, which has thrown their seasonal breeding cycles haywire. We feed them every day. We separate mothers from their litters far earlier than they would separate naturally. Now, all of these are not equal in terms of intervention. Some are good, some are bad, and some are very depending on how you look at it. But the fact is, far before the conversation in the vet's office, the natural way of living, their natural way of living, does not stand anymore. We have already come way too far from that. So, if we give our pets food daily, we need to be careful of what they need and mainly when we are going in excess. If we don't allow natural mating, if we don't allow them to do what they naturally do and produce a litter every heat cycle, we need to look at ways to preserve that reproductive health. We need to optimize their reproductive health. If we have replaced natural selection meaning how a lot of animals used to die of diseases a lot of times in puppy and kittenhood, if we don't want that to happen, we have to start looking at vaccines and prevention more seriously. And while we are doing this, let us please not go the other way and start looking only at medications, only at, all the additives to our pet's life and ignore what can be done on the level of lifestyle. A far better way to do this is to go about it as pure cause and effect. Look at each intervention, look at each choice that you're making, look at its pros and cons for your individual pet. Again, just because it worked for your neighbor's cat, it might not work for yours. So make the decision with your vet, make the decision based on your individual pet's lifestyle. As our pets have come to rely on us for their basic needs, they have also come to depend on us for their health, their longevity, and a lot of times it is these unnatural interventions, be it vaccines, be it kibble, be it neutering, that help us help them live long and happy lives. Thank you so much for listening to the Practical Pet Parenting Podcast. If you found this helpful, don't forget to follow, rate, or review. Whatever your podcasting app allows you to do it. You can also find me on Instagram at Indian Pet Vet and read more at practicalpetparenting.com. Much love to you and your pets, and see you next week.